Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Geek Cypher here on Free X Agents Media on YouTube, geekcypher.com, Twitch TV /Geek Cypher, GEEKCYPHA. And we are here. Squad, the crew.
Gang, gang.
Gang.
But a wholesome gang, Canadian gang.
We're polite.
A spot tea, eh, mate?
I like that, the Canadian equivalent of the FBI is the Mounties.
Yes. And
I always thought that was goofy. It was weird, like the way Mounties are portrayed in all media and cartoons. And
that is true.
Due South didn't do us any kind of justice at all.
You know what, though? You know what? If I was trying to brand a police agency, I would want people to think they're goofy so that when they catch your ass, you're like,
it's true.
The Mounties caught me? What the is going on?
Aren't you supposed to be wearing those red things? That's just ceremonial.
Right? Aren't you supposed to be backwards on a horse? And you're like,
Dudley Do-Right.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, nah, homie, we actually know what we're doing. We just want y'all to think we're stupid so we can catch you fools.
It's like
about superhero movies and Dudley Do-Right came out. I don't understand how that happened, but all right.
But it's also like thinking that oh man, the Marines came after me. It was crazy because I thought they were just going to be in their their formal attire, with gear and stuff, and get me with the sword, get me with the rapier.
People really genuinely, I truly believe the best way is to pretend and make yourself look simple and silly. And then because honestly, if you think about just interacting with people and they underestimate you, and then you can just take full advantage of them not understanding how much better or smarter you are than them, it's a beautiful thing. I'm not trying to be cruel, but
like sad at the same time.
Yeah. Because then when you look at them, you pity them a little, and you're just like,
yeah,
you dumb.
I had faith in you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that. Your jaw's all on the floor.
Oh my god, you guys are terrible.
But
don't pretend like you don't like doing it too. You always saying how you like being petty. Yeah, isn't your whole thing?
I am petty, but I'm not taking you guys are wow. Yeah, there's levels to it, but I mean,
like Scarface. Look at you!
Hey,
Oh,
it's not directed to anyone.
Yeah, it's not one person. It's just that there are people in the world who often underestimate us or anyone. And then if you know someone's underestimating you and you realize it early enough, like I think for me, my favorite is going to New York back in the day and playing the dodo bird on Canal Street and then fleecing them for just as much as they think they're fleecing me for. You know what I mean? Like playing the same game with them and knowing that the quality of the stuff isn't good. They think I'm a mark. I know what the game is. We're playing it. Next thing you know, I walk away with this product for a tenth the price you're trying to sell it for.
And the cops show up. Woo-hoo!
And not that let's say hypothetically, you had an aunt who knew when the cops were coming to Canal Street.
Holy shit.
Because your aunt worked for the city and she would tell you, and you would go and get your stuff, fleece them on the price, and know that they're going to get shut down later that day. Hypothetically, if you were doing that, is that a bad thing? Them trying to take advantage, but you know the whole game. I'm just saying things can happen.
Bro, I was kidding.
Sorry. Yeah, me too. I said hypothetically. It's a joke, allegedly. Haha. What, we're not laughing?
What was that song?
All hypothetical here.
All hypothetical. All allegedly. Nothing is real. It's a podcast. It's all jokes. What? This is all for play. We're not serious.
We're actors.
What was that song with Akon and Cardinal? Graveyard Shift.
Oh, yeah.
6 a.m. This graveyard just Doc walking around Canal Street 6 a.m.
I will say, in the times that I used to go to New York, one of the weirdest things is hearing people tell you New York is a city that never sleeps, but then at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, you're in Times Square and there's no one around, and you're like, I thought y'all didn't sleep. Like,
wait, hold on. Which
October, November.
Like this is like like Times Square now, not like Times Square 80s.
Times Square in like 2013, 2014
Okay.
at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, coming out of BB King's and walking around the Times Square area afterwards. And genuinely the street, like there's a bunch of cars, but there's like no people on the street.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking, oh, maybe we're getting out too early from the scene, like maybe no one else is out. And then going into the McDonald's,
I don't know the secret spots.
right. Then going into the McDonald's in that area because stupidly we've been drinking at this Ghostface show that we went to see.
Nice.
And now we're like drunk and hungry and we're like, let's go eat. And you get into the McDonald's. Weirdly, McDonald's packed. Nothing else is going on the street though. So New York has weird. It might not sleep, but no one's outside. People weren't in the streets. They were in buildings. And I was like, I
know what's going on. Like, I'm good. I don't need to know the good spots.
Exactly.
True. Good point. Yeah.
That's where they're like, oh, you're not from here. Yeah, we heard about this place from the guy on the street. Set up. Like,
yeah.
Whole club just looks like this at you. Like, no.
Yeah. I told you. I've told you guys the Patrice O'Neal story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He did.
I have not.
Patrice O'Neal. I met Patrice O'Neal on the street, and he just didn't want it with me because he was just like, "Nigga, you smile too much." I was just like, "Oh,
what?"
Well, yeah. When I met him on the street, I was smiling, and I couldn't remember his name at first. Then I bumped into him like an hour later, but I was with 2 girls, so this time he was willing to talk to me. And as we're talking to him, it was more the girls who were talking to him because they recognized him also, and I felt embarrassed, so I didn't say anything. But then I said, "Hey, how come you didn't talk to me earlier when I saw you the first time?" And he's just like, "Nick, you smile too much. This is New York. Why are you smiling at niggas like that in the street?" And I was just
like, "Oh, true."
Like, I'm Canadian, and he's just like, "Ah," and then the girls started laughing.
You got to frown, tilt your head down.
Now
he wanted. Shout out to DJ Lady Oracle, who was on the Limelight back in the day. He wanted her phone number so bad. That is the only reason he stopped to talk to us. He wanted them digits. Lady Oracle has always been a gorgeous woman. It was just funny to see a celebrity be like, all right, I'm willing to talk to this random weirdo Canadian boy because he's next to this very attractive woman now.
It's weird when rappers do that. J-Rue the Damager hit on an ex-girlfriend of mine while I was there. And I'm looking at him like, nigga, yeah, you're hip hop, but I will like drop you, bro. Like, don't think I won't give you a Hadouken. Chill out. He's like, what's your name? Hi, so hey, how you? Yeah, I'm just like, she's here with me. Like,
right.
Hey, if you don't,
you need to know where you are.
Yeah,
just because you have friends doesn't mean you can just try and hit on everyone.
Well, he was there with like Juju from the Beat Nuts, and like Sticky Fingers was like lingering around, and like, you know, Sticky has this thing where he calls me Beetlejuice, and I think it's funny, but I don't think it's funny because I'm like, I'm not
punch him in the
from
throat.
Stern show, so chill out.
Yeah, you got to punch him in the throat. That's a throat punch.
Oh, Beetlejuice is in Lil Dude on.
Yeah.
Oh,
not Beetlejuice like Michael Keaton.
Who?
Howard Stern had this dude who, like, what was Beetlejuice's condition? He had like a medical condition, no?
Yeah. He was just like,
it was like.
I'm sorry, what?
Beetlejuice. So we all know Beetlejuice, the movie, which we should have talked about in the past. Unfortunately, we didn't. Fun movie though, but we'll talk about that another time. But on the Howard Stern show, there was a dude, this black dude named Beetlejuice, who was, you know, Howard Stern had like a crew of people.
Pack.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
The he had like shrunken head syndrome or something. I don't know. I don't think that's actually what it was, but he had like a.
He was a little person, and you know.
Yeah,
small voice and everything like that. Just
not something you want
very
to be
weird.
Yeah, it's essentially being called that. Not a polite. It's not a compliment. It's not it's not like, haha, we cool. It's like, let me use this slightly insulting nickname.
Well, he changed it to Omar Epps afterwards, but I was like, okay, buddy. So from then, like, me and Sticky Fingers always have this like little jokes, like, well, we'll just like play fight when we see each other. But then at this point, Juju's edging on J-Rue the Damager to continue the frolicking, as I like to call it, and then the girl I'm with is just being nice, but at this point she's like grabbing my arm, she's like, you're getting creepy, and I'm just like,
oh no,
I can't really.
Yeah, see, it's that delicate, but you know what? In that situation, I feel like it's not like you had to say anything, but if anything, you probably could have just bounced with her.
I mean, I did, but
yeah, you're out. You're already out.
Trying to leave, and yeah. Well, that's why he doesn't come back, because he's weird.
Yeah.
Very weird.
speaking of him, do we want to bring up the news? Because I feel like Sticky Fingers leads us to Blade. Blade leads us to.
Oh, that's exactly why I did that. Yes.
Sticky Fingers used to star in Spike TV's Blade.
Spike TV, one season of Blade. Yeah.
This was after. Funny part. This was after Blade, and I never brought Blade up like that. I was never like, hey, you don't play Blade anymore. He probably
You're polite.
Yeah, you're like, I could have teased you too.
You were Canadian. You were polite.
This is news. I think I forgot. Oh no, I did write it down. Marvel Studios Blade removed from 2025 release schedule. Mahershala Ali, sir, it's over.
How old is he now? How old is he?
I don't know how old he is, but
50.
He's 50. When he signed on, he was 45. Yeah, you ain't playing Blade no more. Stop.
Yeah,
I mean, Ant-Man's out here being Ant-Man. I understand Paul Rudd is pretty like up there. He's 52 exactly.
Yeah,
but, I mean, Blade is a little bit more challenging, I imagine.
Yeah, Blade is definitely a physical one.
Mahershala Ali is straight 50. Smack dab 50.
Yeah, no, you ain't doing that. And you have 3 movie deals.
When he got hired, he was 40, like late 40s.
Exactly. No. Man.
Okay. So I mentioned in the group chat that when Bob Iger started talking out the side of his head with all this kind of like Disney isn't woke, like he didn't say it that way, but he kind of gave us the vibe of, you know, Disney should be about entertainment and not about messages. And everyone was just like, what's that supposed to mean? What
have you not seen your own shit for the past 100 years, though? Like,
but
what?
Like, you've had
zippity doodah. Not about messages at all. Zippity day.
But like Disney has been telling messages of like equality.
And what was it? You know, gotta hedge your bets with those Nazi videos with Donald Duck.
Yep, right. The Lord have mercy. But like the thing that bothers me a little bit with him having that to say is Disney bought Marvel, and Marvel Entertainment, Marvel Studios, Marvel Animation, Marvel, whatever you want to call it, has always been talking about these stories, has always been trying to tell these stories, has always been trying to bring different people to the forefront. They have different stories that represent different things, whether it's the X-Men trying to talk about equality and, you know, just prejudice for prejudice sake, or if it's Black Panther that's trying to talk about Afrofuturism and the idea of an Africa untouched by colonialism. If it's, you know, like they've been doing it. They've been telling these stories of equality and friendship. So Disney, when you bought this company and then years later they're telling all these stories and you're just going to start saying like, that's right. That yawn is exactly how I felt about Iger. It's the whole thing.
Sorry,
it's the whole. No, but that's what I'm saying. It's just like Iger, yawn. Like you don't even know what you bought. Stop it. Like why are you talking like this and saying it's?
He's just a goop. I don't.
But he was the one. He was the one in charge when they bought it.
Damn. All right.
His legacy is buying Pixar, Lucasfilm, and Marvel. And had he actually left when he left, he had one of the best legacies as the head of Disney ever. But
he did leave when he left. He left.
I know.
And retired, but
he came back.
Yeah, because
now his
he set up kind of.
Yeah. And now his legacy is the guy who came back and didn't right the ship because Disney isn't doing better. It's still kind of tripping over itself.
But to be fair, I mean, when they bought Fox as well, that also had a wait, hold on, where am I going with this? No, sorry. Disney also has ESPN.
Yes.
And a bunch of TV networks. And when they bought Fox, I think they got a bunch of TV networks as well. If you're not paying attention, TV's not doing hot. So when everyone looks at Disney's stock and says, oh, it's going down and then go broke, it's like TV's dragging the majority of that down.
Dude.
And people are just like, oh, it's because of their movies. Like, no, it's mostly TV.
It's TV
dragging them down.
Paramount over at CBS with Paramount is dying. Viacom, all of it is dying. They are losing so much money. When they almost sold BET for like $2 billion or something and decided not to because they wanted more money, everyone was just like, that was the biggest mistake you've ever made, because within a year the value of a television network dropped again, and there's no way you could get $3 billion again.
Jeez.
So remember, man, Disney has La Ocho.
Yeah,
that's ESPN 8. How many ESPNs they have? I have no idea. But
I know.
I lost count.
Spanish, La Ocho.
Jeez.
Yeah, they make jokes about like we have ping pong on ESPN 7 over here. You're like, God damn, that's wild.
So Iger just basically is canceling anything that has any kind of likeliness to sending a message or that'll again anger the right white males in America.
I think right now he is trying to find a way to have his cake and eat it too. Like he took it off of the schedule. The movie still wasn't working. Every version of the script supposedly didn't appeal to people. I don't even think they had started filming anything, or if they did, they had
I
to
don't
stop.
think so,
No,
no.
yeah, me neither.
No.
Yeah. So
like the fact that another movie was able to come out with Wesley Snipes playing
make
Blade,
fun.
saying there's only one, like he's Highlander or something.
Yeah.
And
that
then
was rough.
hold a rocket launcher, roll an RPG, and blow up some stuff. Like you could just make all the memes you want. But like, I mean, if that movie was able to get greenlit, done underneath Fox,
Yep.
and be done and out, like that's
not even underneath Fox though. It was a Marvel Studios release.
It was
official. Yeah.
But still, like they weren't announced.
Yeah.
When they announced Blade.
True.
They were announced 2 years later?
Dude, I'm telling you, this is like Inhumans. When everyone Inhumans got this exact same treatment where it was like, let's just keep pushing it off. And then one day they're like, oh, we're going to do a TV show with this. Like, why are you doing a ABC Studios or whatever the stupid ABC signature series? Don't do that. Please don't do that to Blade. Please don't get back to Spike.
Bo DeMaio's version was a mix between 30 Days of Night and The Raid.
Oh, wow.
And it would have taken place over one night, like basically the zombie hordes going over, like just to protect the girl that was supposedly giving birth to Lilith, which is like the demon queen. Don't know why this didn't go over, but I mean, yeah.
And that sounds like a cheap, not bad cheap, but like an easy
It sounds like a cheap
yeah. Filming in one set, one area.
When you say cheap, you mean financially
sound.
Responsible.
Sound. Financially sound. That's what you need. You need Blumhouse movies. You need movies that are made.
Yes.
You can cut corners here and there, but it doesn't destroy the quality of the whole thing, and you could get it out there and make all that money. Just hit
Ness, as our resident movie buff, Blumhouse films. What do you think of the Blumhouse model if they were to try and do superhero stuff?
I think you have to pick and choose your superheroes. You can't get anybody too flashy.
No, that's fair.
You gotta. I think street level stuff would work fine.
They could do Deadman. They could do Darkman. They could do Spawn. They could do.
Well, aren't they doing? They're doing Spawn, no?
Yeah,
wouldn't they have to do? Because I'm not well versed in the hero world, the hero universe. But wouldn't they have to do like dark versions or like anti-hero? Or like villains, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think Skinny. When you said Deadman, which is DC, that's a good one. Yeah. Kind of the. But you know who I would? Okay, funny enough, I think they could actually do characters that aren't as dark. Actually, okay, I'll rephrase because this character has one of the darkest backstories, but is kind of not shown to be a dark character in the comic book. Mr. Miracle.
Oh wow, that guy's story is so sad.
His story. So Mr. Miracle is a character who is he's like the world's best escape artist, and he's the world's best escape artist because he had to escape from being in like Darkseid's prison for most of his life.
That's interesting.
So I feel, but he is almost always optimistic. Like he never seems sad about stuff. So I think it would be interesting to have him being done by Blumhouse with like a little bit of because I feel like Blumhouse can do kind of starts off happy, gets darker, progressively gets more depressing.
Yeah,
the whole world
I
is
haven't
ending.
seen that many of their films, but the ones I've seen, they were okay.
Blumhouse, A24, Neon, those are kind of like the kids who could make I feel like that's what you were saying, Jaws.
Yeah. Like A24, I think their biggest one that they've done was Civil War. That was like their big budget movie.
A24 did
We're doing
Civil War?
Yeah, the recent one, right?
The recent one that came out.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. Civil War with
Kaylee,
Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah,
exactly.
And Kaylee, what's her name? The girl that was in Alien Romulus.
Yeah, her. I can't remember her name.
I know it's Kaylee. I don't remember her last name.
I know. Doc, when we were talking about it offline.
Yeah.
I remember I was saying maybe he's making that pivot because of that corporate hostile takeover that was trying to happen. Remember
that's fair.
Remember I mentioned before, some episodes ago, the guy that was trying to take over and like run everything. So like, remember his daughter was in one of the Transformers movies.
Yes, you were saying.
Yeah. So I think what happened was because that failed, and he was like, okay, cool, I blocked that off. But I think it's more of him doing it to purposely do a message. So even if he didn't gain control, that guy didn't gain control, he would still have to kind of force them to be like, hey, go and change your direction. You know,
I still will never forgive Iger for everything because he set all of this up, told everyone to make more content than they should have been trying to make at the time.
Then got mad at them for making more content.
But
then bounced.
But that's everybody, though. That was everybody. Everybody was like, well, we don't want to give Netflix all of our stuff. Let's make our own thing and make our own castle and build up everything. Everyone's going to come to us, and then no one came to us.
But Jaws, I feel like you're making the point for me.
I am. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying like
no. But I'm saying like Disney,
everybody started doing it.
Yeah, but that's the point. Disney isn't everybody. Why did Disney fall into the trap of doing like?
Well, I think they got scared.
Money.
Yeah, I think they got scared and they saw how well Netflix was doing. So I think because obviously, let's be real, the future is streaming. Like,
well, homie, not even just the future. I had a teacher tell me about streaming when I was in CEGEP in 2001 or 2000. Like,
wow,
it's crazy.
But that's my point. I think Disney got scared, and so they hopped on the bandwagon before it was too late because they were probably feeling like if we don't start this now, it's gonna be too late.
That's everybody. Whenever it comes to tech, everyone wants to like, well, we don't want to be stuck
left behind,
not doing anything, because then all of our
being forced to close or whatever, like,
and then all of our investors are gonna be like, why aren't you doing what they're doing? They're doing it, you do it. How come you're not doing it?
I'm gonna throw a name out there who didn't follow the trends, got rid of their streaming service actually, and is still doing well. Sony. Sony had Crackle.
Right.
Yeah, Sony had a streaming service that was before Tubi called Crackle. It was ad supported. It was the exact same thing as Tubi. It was their movies and their TV shows ad supported. No one was watching it. I had it on my phone. I was the only person ever. I used to be
kind of watching it on my PS3.
Okay.
I remember Crackle, because they had that one show with the superheroes that was kind of good.
Powers,
based on the comic. Yes. Abruptly ended it. Boom.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great.
Exactly. Sony had the model and was doing it as early as Netflix and abandoned it because they're just like, we're not making enough money off of this. Funny enough, they would be ahead of Tubi if they had.
But
sorry,
correct
Ness.
me if I'm wrong. Like, Sony is a powerhouse. Like, they have so many different streams of revenue. Like, they don't even need to compete in streaming.
They don't.
I think that's why they're so successful. They're actually like, they're successful in so many areas of technology. Like, it's.
I just wish. I see what you're saying.
I don't know if that's actually why, but I just feel like Sony is such a, like, even if they failed at streaming, they're gonna be successful in another part of.
Yeah, you're talking about like the Apple and Amazon model, where it's just like Apple TV is secretly producing the best TV shows that no one is.
Yeah, literally, and they actually produce like good shit.
Yo, dude, Silo, Severance,
Boondocks.
like Boondocks, they've been producing.
All the animation films are coming from Sony now. All the best animation films too.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know. And speaking of animation, though, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur canceled. Another Disney property. Probably
really good, really animated extremely well. If you get a chance to check it out,
extremely well.
I didn't even know that was out. They didn't advertise that for shit, bro.
I know. 2 seasons also.
Watch
2 seasons. Yeah. If you have a chance, season 2, the back half of season 2 is going to be premiering in 2025. So if you are they're on Disney Plus, right?
Yeah. I think so.
If you have a Disney Plus subscription, I'd highly recommend checking out Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Even if you're an adult, you don't have to watch it if you're not just because you're a kid. It's actually very entertaining. There's a lot of like, there's like fun, interesting, smart ways they include Marvel characters, and they're trying to create their own lore. The characters, like Lunella, canonically is the smartest person in the Marvel universe. Smarter than Reed, smarter than Tony, smarter than Bruce Banner, as much as people hate it, smarter than Amadeus Cho, as much as all y'all hate it. It is what it is.
They hate it.
They hate it. They hate it that a little black girl is the smartest. But
so one thing to go back to the Iger thing and how he could right the ship. Very simple. Stop doing live action remakes. Do live action remakes, but put the Muppets in it.
I've heard people talk about that. I've actually heard other people say.
I was just talking with somebody on another chat, and we said redo the Princess Bride, but with Muppets.
Yeah.
Kermit is the pirate master guy. Like he's the main. He's Wesley in the story.
Yeah.
But then you cut back to the grandpa, and it's Carrie Ellis playing the grandpa, and it's Robin Frog playing the sick grandson.
You're hilarious.
Dude,
just make the money. Just bring in the money.
Honestly, after watching the Jim Henson documentary recently, I don't understand how Disney is not abusing the out of that IP.
Wait, they own that?
They own the Muppets now.
They own the Muppets.
Henson.
They don't own Sesame Street.
No, that's over at HBO.
That's hilarious. That's why Kermit ain't on that bitch no more. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Because Jim Henson was like, I want these two to be separate, and I don't want I want the Muppets to be more adult.
Right.
And more prime time.
Yeah.
And I want Sesame Street to be for kids.
That could be why all the good Muppets aren't on Sesame Street. Because listen, Telly's gone. You don't.
No, but I mean he's Sesame Street, but like
anyone who is Sesame Street stayed on Sesame Street. They might just have retired them.
But because I mean, Telly Monsters is basically a wet blanket. Oh no!
Yeah,
that's his line.
Good with that today. They couldn't take that.
They couldn't make money.
Look, I mean, anyway. I talked about Eeyore. I won't go again.
Need more Grover though.
Yeah, okay, it's Grover. Grover is the big man over there. It's Grover and Elmo's show. Cookie Monster actually stepped up too.
Cookie Monster's like
Cookie Monster's second tier. Like I don't understand.
Cookie Monster's weird because he feels like he does all the older jokes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't have to worry about rent. My house is rent controlled.
Yeah.
I'm like, what
he bounces between being a kid and an adult. It's like he's a foodie now too. Like it's all sorts of crazy.
Yes, I'm taking a work lunch.
Do you guys feel like someone said this to me? They should bring back Forgetful Sam so they could talk about dementia for children.
Oh.
And I was just like, yeah, that's true. I feel like
Sam. Yeah.
The cowboy dude who just forgot everything all the time.
Oh, now I remember.
And they were just
Prairie
like,
Dawn.
Dawn is little appearance.
And then is it true Oscar the Grouch is now not in a garbage but in recycling?
No, he's in a garbage can.
No, he's still
in
he's still around. Slimy got to go to Paris for the Olympics. I was like, Slimy. His pet worm.
That's wild.
The Spanish one, she's still there. Rosita's still there heavy. Zoe's getting kind of canceled out because like I don't know. You're just kind of drowning her out. You don't see her as much.
Well, you see what's the fairy monster.
Yeah,
she's there a lot.
Yeah. What's her name? Oh man,
I don't remember all these characters.
I know.
It's Elmo's best friend.
Y'all are losing me.
This is for the kids. That's
Zoe with her best friend Rocco. Elmo can't be bothered.
Yo, Elmo disses that rock all the time. Like, okay, Elmo's still like a kid, but he throws some adult things in there
canonically he's 3.
He's 3. So
how's everyone doing out there? Elmo, we're not good. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, you know what I was hoping when that whole thing went down with Larry. What's his name? Curb Your Enthusiasm guy, and he manhandled Elmo manhandled Elmo on the Today Show. I thought they were gonna rope that into the final season.
Oh my
God. Where it's like, Larry David, that's it.
Canceled for assaulting Elmo.
Yeah, but I thought that was like a bit for the show, and they didn't do it. I was like, oh, that would have been so good.
Speaking of childhoods, Avatar Studio announces Avatar Open World RPG. Wow. People are a little. You guys had the same reaction I saw online. People are a little mid on the idea. Do you guys not think people would love to play in an open world where you get to make your own bender though?
Oh, that Avatar.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought
Avatar
you
Studios.
meant James Cameron Avatar.
No,
The Last Airbender.
Yeah. Sorry, Avatar: The Last Airbenders, because that's their Avatar Studios.
Okay.
They're doing an Avatar open world. Sorry, I thought you guys knew Avatar Studios was Avatar: The Last Airbender.
No, I thought you were talking about those other stuff.
No, I would never refer to him as Avatar. I'd refer to them as the Blue Idiots. Like I have no respect for him forcing them to change the name and trying all that bullshit.
What? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that the Avatar: The Last Airbender, the first film that came out, had to change the name because he was making his Avatar movie. And I'm just like, but they
both under Fox.
They were the original.
I feel like it.
If they were both under Fox, I could see that because I think most of his stuff.
I don't think they were both under Fox, but I think they just. I'm pretty sure the Avatar: The Last Airbender. Well, M. Night Shyamalan already does not have the cojones to stand up to Cameron, so that already
he doesn't have enough money. He didn't bring enough money to the studio, so
that too.
Did he make Titanic? I thought not.
Oh shit!
Did he make Aliens? No. Did he make not the Abyss?
I'm sorry, folks. I'm seeing people write that they thought I meant Avatar, James Cameron. I'll let it be known now. If I'm talking about James Cameron's Avatar, I will say the crappy blue people or the
Brian's hating.
I hated that movie.
That movie is bad, man.
It's not a good movie. But I saw the first Avatar, and I didn't see the second one because
I heard the second one was good. I heard the second one was good. I heard the newer video game that came out not too long ago was good as well. But
I like the second one more than the first one.
I couldn't. When I watched the first one, and people were telling me, "Oh, I was like, guys, it's not a good movie," and they're just like, "Well, did you see it in 3D?" I was like, "No." They're just like,
3D?
"You have to see." They're like, "You have to see it in 3D." I'm like, I'm like, hold up, you're telling me the good version of the movie is the same exact story.
Yes,
but it's in 3D. That should not affect how good the story is.
Because the computer is at you. You know what I mean? Like,
the computer.
I do have to say, the 3D was done extremely well compared to how everybody else usually implements it.
With passion.
Like seeing Nightmare Before Christmas in 3D was very disappointing. Seeing
that movie 2 years ago.
Tron Legacy in 3D was very disappointing. You would have thought when the main character gets hit by the digitizer, you would have seen him getting broken down bit by bit in 3D. Nope, it just flash. He's in the grid, and it's like that
should be
banned.
I mean, hold on. 3D is good sometimes because Coraline is the best use of 3D I've ever seen in a movie.
Movies are too creepy. I don't care for them.
Guys, I'm telling you,
that's the whole point.
If you watch Coraline, I saw Coraline in 3D at the movie theater, and when the needle comes out and swipes across the screen, and it literally looked like it was coming at my head.
Did you scream?
No, I was just impressed because I was like, these people did such a good job that it really felt like something was coming out of the screen, and it like Coraline was so well done. It looked like the movie was a box. Like when you're watching it on the screen, it looked like it was a box as opposed to just adding depth to characters.
I don't know. I'm just so against 3D. Like I can't even. I'm all for it if it's like an immersive experience and you're like going to some like, something like at the Science Center. They have those like.
Oh my God. She's like, I'm only into 3D if I'm learning.
Yes, literally. Like if it's like an immersive
planetarium or some shit.
That kind of thing, I'm all
big
for
time
it.
nerd. Big time nerd. So funny.
I
agree with Mike K in the chat. Tron Legacy is all about the aesthetic, but that story is trash too. I'm sorry.
Most Tron stories aren't great.
Oh my God. I'm down for the first one because that's the one that started it all. But if every other story that you have to tell me, except what was the TV show? The Tron TV show was actually really good.
Yeah, the one with Elijah Wood. Yeah, that show is actually fantastic.
Or something like that.
I don't remember what
Tron Legacy though. That was disappointing, and I was like, dude, we have The Matrix that came out, we have Reboot that came out, we have all these movies and TV shows that are about people in a computer, and it's 10 times better than
that's an IP people are sleeping on. Because there are no Reboot movie.
Yo,
like what are people doing over there?
They just found the original reels, the original tapes of Reboot. So they have to. They're trying to remaster those and get those out to people.
Honestly, though, Skinny, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Really, how have you how?
You don't like Guardian Code?
Oh, was that the reboot that was done?
That was what they were trying to do, and I think the story behind that was like one of the people spearheading it. They wanted to put their kid in a show.
Mainframe Studios has a whole lot of IP that Shadow Raiders reboot movies. Why haven't you got? Yeah, but I mean,
Shadow Raiders was a toy line.
Yeah, so it was Battle of the Planets, but they could not Battle of the Planets, but it was Battle of the Planets or some kind of crazy.
Wait, real quick, wasn't the reason they got out of the business because they started doing all those Barbie movies and they were just like, we're making so much money doing this, we don't need to.
They didn't get out of the business. It was just that trying to pitch your own stuff costs money, and if no one's picking it up and all that, then you got to pay the bills.
I know, but
Mattel was paying a lot.
Mattel paid them arm and a leg. I get it. But at some point, the reason you do it is because you got into the business to make your own stuff. And I get that if you're getting a lot of money, but at some point you have all this money, everyone's being paid, everyone's being fed. Don't you think, hey, maybe you two over there, you guys want to actually try and make something original for us? And
I think a lot of the original people from Mainframe ended up leaving. I think over time, all those people that would spearhead that stuff have left the company, and I think the company also changed its name to Rainmaker. They're not Mainframe anymore. They didn't change their name to.
I was gonna say one of the things I heard about, because this is similar, the film industry, similar to the gaming industry, because that same energy I heard people talking about. I was listening to the podcast Factual with Adam Conover, and he had a gaming industry journalist come on to talk about how the gaming industry is all about just repeating the major IP and just making money off those IPs over and over and over. Skinny, you've even said that on the show in the past. Yeah, with the chokes.
Yeah, even a former
notorious for that.
Even I was gonna say even a former Sony entertainment or Sony PlayStation executive mentioned that there's no more AA, there's no middle ground of pretty decent and original ideas coming to the forefront anymore, because everyone wants to make sure if they put out something, they'll make money.
Oh, Just Cause 2. Okay.
So they always want to make sure that whatever they put out, you're going to get that return at least.
Okay, so that's one of our pieces of news. Spider-Man 2 canceled DLC.
Oh, really?
Spider-Man 2 would have made them money. I don't understand how you canceled the DLC.
But was there a reason?
From what I know, I don't think there was they listed the reason at the time that the article came out. Let me double check. Spider-Man 2 canceled DLC proves that Insomniac's plans may have changed for a leaked game too. Yeah, no, there's just a bunch of information about what what the game would have been, what missions you would have had. There was it sounded like a lot of cool stuff. You were going to get another Venom mission. They're planning a Venom Lethal Protector game potentially. So they were saying one of the DLCs was going to lead into that. And
that's nice, but hurry up and finish Wolverine.
I wonder
they do have to do Wolverine, which they're working on now.
Didn't they announce Blade 2 or somebody announced that they were going to
That's another company. I think that's Bethesda is doing Blade.
Okay.
But I think I would assume they maybe canceled it or whatever, probably because of the big leak that happened. So I would assume that probably plays into it a bit, because I don't know if it's one of those things where we found out they announced that they canceled it, or someone was snooping and they found out.
No. It's they announced that they canceled.
Oh, okay, that's too bad.
They're saying apparently people are saying that they think it's just a conspiracy theory. They think it's because of the leaks that happened.
I don't understand.
They canceled Spider-Man 2 apparently.
I don't understand canceling something. A leak happens, the game's not out, you guys find out what the game's going to be, y'all are still hype anyways because you like the characters, so we cancel it even though you guys would still play it.
Yeah, taking your ball and bringing it home. Straight up. That's all it is.
Well, apparently the leak wasn't just game details, it was also personal information about staff. It was
I heard that stuff.
Yeah, that was earlier this year, I think.
Yeah.
But they're saying they think that's why. I don't know. I'm just reading what people are saying.
I'm shocked at the idea that if there's a leak, that because of the leak, everyone goes, "Wow, we're just not going to make." Are you punishing?
They're saying I think it cost the company so much because of the leaks that I guess maybe
I guess all money that they put in potential rollouts and whatnot, marketing.
Maybe they had to like scrap it because they had to. It was costly.
Oh, they couldn't afford it.
Yeah,
I'll take that
because the leak also
can't afford
because the leak also showed like what was it? Their either the projected numbers or like this is how much it's going to cost, this is how much we're going to everything, like the whole count sheet kind of thing.
I'm sure it's expensive, and I'm sure it's expensive to do a big cleanup after a leak. So
shut it down.
That's fair.
Like it never happened.
if it comes down to the leak is because we can't make enough money, and not because you guys don't believe in the IP, because you should believe in this IP.
Oh, they believe in it. They for sure believe.
Yeah,
in it.
didn't it win Game of the Year last year, or was one of the top nominated ones? So I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, everywhere I'm reading is saying it's because of the leaks.
I still need to finish that game. By finish, I mean I probably won't, but whatever.
I finished it once and started on the hardest level.
It was good.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's just
man, beat it for Tony Todd, who's the voice of Venom.
Yeah, playing as
beat it for the Candy Man.
And when you get to play as Venom, it's kind of crazy. Playing as Venom is kind of crazy. Yeah. I wish you could swing as Venom because that's one thing that they don't let you do. But
wait, what? Huh?
Yeah, you can only you can Hulk leap. I mean, the game's been out long enough that it's not.
You just deaded that game for me. You can't swing as Venom. Nah, I'm good.
But you don't play for him as long. You play as Miles and Peter most of the game.
As long as it's not like those Mary Jane.
I wish it was on Nintendo.
Oh
yeah, Nintendo's
that poor console would just
it would blow up.
it would just burst into flames.
The Switch would blow
Can't
up.
handle that. Cannot handle that. We're Nintendo. We're not about graphics. We're not about that at all.
I'm really limited to the games.
Well, Switch supposedly, I mean, we've said it on this show. The Switch 2 is in the works somewhere in the horizon. So.
Everybody
I don't think
knows
I'm getting
Switch
that anytime soon.
But no one knows how powerful it's actually.
Yeah, the same podcast I was talking about, Factual. The guy was explaining how both him and Adam were talking about the fact that Nintendo's doing fine. Everyone else is freaking out about losing out. Nintendo updates their hardware once every 10 years.
7 years.
And then when they update it, they're just like, y'all love these IPs so much. You're just going to keep buying all the different IPs. So go ahead. And
they have a Nintendo tax too. They never their games never go down in price ever. Think about that.
I feel like they do. I feel like they're like the Apple of the video game world.
Yeah.
And
then every once in a while they'll throw you a curveball. Oh, hey, we have an announcement of a new piece of hardware. It's an alarm clock.
Yeah, I saw that.
Wait, you're not talking about the Switch 2? We do not have. We're not talking about the Switch 2 in this fiscal year. Here's an alarm clock. $100, please.
What about when they convinced everyone to buy what were those figures that they convinced people to buy?
Amiibos?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're still into that. You want DLC? Buy our toys. Remember, Nintendo is actually a toy company that makes video games. I'm being dead serious. That's real. They're not a technology company. Nope. They're not making movies on the side. They don't have but I'm saying every other look at Microsoft, look at Sony. They have so much other things that they're doing. Nintendo is just about this one thing.
They're like the Apple because they're just so in their own bubble, and it's like even their games it's so exclusive to them, and you can't it's just.
And
it's smart. Annoying, but but honestly, I love Nintendo. It's my favorite.
Right, exactly. Everyone loves Nintendo.
It's my favorite. So.
But it's only in the last few years they started okay, let's really expand our IPs. All right, so we're going to do a Super Mario movie. You can go to Universal in the States and in Japan and go to Super Mario World. We're going to open up a museum. They're really okay, we feel very comfortable right now. Let's do other stuff. Let's get out there. I think there's supposed to be a Zelda movie in the work. There is a Zelda movie in the works or a show.
But I just wish they would allow, because there's some games that I can't play because I don't have I can't afford to have a PlayStation and a Nintendo and I can't have it all. So it's annoying that they don't allow PlayStation is a bit more, I guess.
Some of their games come out on PC.
Yeah, they're a bit more open to.
Nah, Nintendo wants you on their thing,
just so exclusive, and I get what they're doing, but at the same time, it's annoying.
And
but
I know,
I don't know. I'm complaining. I'm still gonna purchase their stuff. So.
Which is Apple. That's an Apple model, like you're saying. You could be an iOS user and be like, "Yo, my phone never like starts up anymore. The battery sucks. Oh, we've dropped the iPhone 16X Max 3," and you're just like, "No, take my money."
7 cameras on it now.
No. I have completely stopped trying to get the new phone. Like, and I used to be an Android user, so I'm not even like.
I'm
not
team
even
Android all day.
I'm not even a full-on like Apple fan. It just happened to be more convenient for me at the time that I switched, and I just never went back. But I was a Samsung user for like 4 years before I had an iPhone. And
yeah, why did you actually? I don't even want to. I won't even.
It was, honestly, I'll tell
even.
you. It's really quick. I only switched because of their camera.
Oh my god!
Fair enough.
Because you could take slightly better pictures.
I was young. No, it wasn't. It wasn't because I could take better pictures. Samsung was actually better. The camera was better on Samsung. The problem, or I should say, the what sold me for iPhone was how convenient it was, because they have auto settings, so it automatically adjusts your camera, like your settings, when you take pictures, depending on if you're like in the dark, in daylight, taking a video, whatever it is. Whereas Samsung is more manual.
But Samsung updated because they have that now.
Yeah, probably now. But I'm saying at the time, this was like, I don't even remember, probably like 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. It was,
and now you're stuck in iOS hell. Come back to us. You're welcome.
Now,
we accept all kinds.
Now it's just habit. Like now I'm just so used to it.
Break the habit. Don't be an addict. Leave. Join us. What do you mean lazy? It's gonna be more
easy.
Yeah, Android's easy. Android's probably, anyways. I won't start.
No, but
don't start this now.
Too much work for me to now like transfer everything over when I already like.
I got you, homie. I can show you how. But anyways,
everything to Apple, like, you know. And my Mac, my laptop is Mac. Like it just ends up working out.
I'll leave you in your bliss. Speaking of bliss, Colman Domingo is helming Scandalous with Sydney Sweeney and David Jonsson. David Jonsson, another actor from the Alien Romulus franchise. We just saw him do a fantastic job. Again, I had my issues with the portrayal, but not with his portrayal. I had my issues with the character he was asked to play, not with his performance. His performance was aces. The character he was playing annoyed me because of that kind of robots are always on the spectrum type thing. But I digress. He did a fantastic job in the role. He's going to be playing Sammy Davis Jr. and Sweeney is going to be playing Kim Novak. Scandalous is the story of how Sammy and Kim were supposedly dating once upon a time, and the mob essentially told him, "Negro, you cannot be dating one of our little blonde princesses. What are you doing?" So I'm excited for Colman Domingo to be directing that because that sounds like it's going to be super dope. Another piece of news, Karate Kid Legends first footage was dropped. It was filmed in Montreal, which is really exciting. Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio train new student and kick some ass. They dropped some content over at New York Comic Con, which was just this past weekend.
Yes,
shout out to all the New York Comic Con kids. It was really cool. I was supposed to go to New York Comic Con, I think last year or 2 years ago, and unfortunately COVID, so I couldn't go, which was very, very sad. But I will always say New York Comic Con is very much like Lego. The tickets go up in price. So I bought my tickets for a reasonable price and then months later had to sell them and made a profit. Did not mean to, but I just put them up and people were like, "Yo, I'll give you this much." And it's like, "Oh, y'all really want to go to Comic Con? All right, cool." So shout out to all the people who are at Comic Con. It seems like people are having a lot of fun. Guys, we all watched a few things. I just wanted to mention 2 things that I've been checking out. The Wonder of Stevie. It's a Audible original series. It's kind of like a docu-series about Stevie Wonder. It's so cool to hear everything. It starts from literally when he started at Motown, and it's going to progress over his different, like, I guess the kids call them eras now. I'm trying to be cool. The kids call them eras. So Stevie's different eras. And so far it's hosted by Wesley Morris, and it is very, very entertaining. First episode the first episode is so fun, and Wesley has such a great energy. He has a bunch of famous people on as guests, and I think this is a shout out to Brandon Calder, who's been on our podcast a few times. You guys might remember his name. He's also a cool director. He's directed some cool stuff that's on Crave. But if you guys have ever heard Brandon talk about the theory, I think he said it on this show, that Stevie Wonder isn't actually blind.
And there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's like I saw some videos that were like hot takes. I don't think Stevie Wonder's blind.
So I when you listen to the doc, I could give you guys a snippet. You find the origin of that story.
Is it related to a fight that broke out?
No.
I know there's a video of, I think, some kind of commotion's going on, and you clearly see Steve Wonder get up and just walk away from the commotion. He goes in the opposite direction of the sound.
And I've seen clips where he's caught a mic stand as it was falling, and people are just like, how did he know the mic stand was falling? Anyways, but
maybe his super senses.
Hey man, Daredevil. If you were to tell me Stevie Wonder is secretly has Daredevil powers,
there's a definitive one I saw where he's like, nah, he's blind. Like, leave him alone.
Yeah.
Where I think it was Mariah Carey was getting an award, and Stevie got the mic for her, and he was like the opposite way, and then she walked around him to get the mic at the stand.
That's cute.
And he was just like, where is she?
But guys, the original story.
Yes,
Dionne Warwick. She used to wear a red dress that supposedly someone else at Motown didn't like. So they told Stevie to tell her to stop wearing the red dress. So Stevie goes up to Dionne Warwick and it's just like, Dionne, you know that red dress you wear? And she's just like, how does he know the dress is red? And he starts like describing the dress to her and telling her like, I don't think you should wear that one anymore. And she was convinced from that day that he could see, and supposedly was telling people Stevie could see.
Yo,
all because they pranked
black
her.
People messing with each other. That's all it sounds like.
It is.
Stevie to do it.
The whole thing starts with
He's got away with words. He's a songwriter.
They were just messing with Dionne Warwick, and that turned into the joke of Stevie isn't blind, and that got perpetuated over the years and got turned into bigger stories. So hearing Dionne Warwick talk about it was so funny because she's just like, this little boy ain't blind. And I was like, what? Like, what?
Shout out to Auntie Dionne Warwick. Watch her. Go on her Twitter feed. It is great.
Oh, yeah.
She's just snapping on people.
They used to talk about it. I remember when they Ego on SNL was doing a whole bunch of segments, sketches as Dionne because of her Twitter, and then even had her on, which was really good. Ooh. Speaking of Saturday Night Live and Ego,
so jealous that you saw it.
I saw the Saturday night film, which is made by Sony, who we were just talking about, which I was funny enough. I thought it would be Universal because NBC, Universal, SNL. Anyways,
they passed on it.
Yeah, I think so. But Jason Reitman,
cast is crazy. Sorry.
Yeah, Jason Reitman, the son of Ivan Reitman, who made Ghostbusters and obviously worked with Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd. So obviously, Ivan and his son had a close relationship, and for his son to be able to make the film about essentially his dad's friends, OG 1975 TV show, seems super nice. It's kind of cute that they got to do this. But yeah, Saturday Night, based on the 90 minutes leading up to the pilot of SNL, is such a crazy film. Lamorne Morris is fantastic. Like Nicholas Braun plays both Andy Kaufman and Jim Henson for some reason. Don't know why, but he does. He's great as both. He
probably had a good Jim Henson voice and a good Andy Kaufman impression. Like, those are impressions that you're definitely doing.
I'm just shocked that, because I was saying to one of my friends, making a film about Saturday Night Live where people play multiple characters to then have an actor do, in the like kind of reenactment of the story, play multiple characters felt so meta. Because how many films do you have one actor play multiple characters? that isn't a comedy. You know what I mean? Like this, like Saturday Night, as much as it's the story of comedic situation, it's not a comedy. It's like a dramatic, but yeah, I guess it is a dramedy.
Bit of a dramedy.
Kinda, but I
feel
like
it's a dramatic retelling.
But I feel like they still wanted it to be a comedy, right?
I mean, it is funny, but it's
based off SNL.
Yeah. So I got to see it. I saw it opening day. No, I saw it on the opening weekend. Sorry.
I was actually gonna message you about it. I was like, oh, I should ask Brian if he wants to go see it, but I was too slow.
So so it's basically like Studio on the Sunset Strip, but actually funny.
I mean,
Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, but actually funny.
Yeah,
there's a joke in 30 Rock that they made while what's his name? What's the name of the writer director?
Alan Sorkin.
Alan Sorkin was there, and he's like, "Oh, so it's like your show, but funny." And he's like, "Shut up."
Yeah. I gotta say a shout out for Corey Michael Smith, who played Chevy Chase. Like homie, fantastic as Chevy. Like the energy on that is great. Kim Matula, who played Jane Curtin, is amazing. Lamorne Morris, who played Gareth Morris, was fantastic. I've heard interviews where Jason told them not to try and seek out the original actors, to just kind of, here's the script and do your own thing. And Lamorne was just like, "Nah, I didn't listen to you. I reached out to Gareth and spoke to him.
I can't do that. I can't do that to this man."
Exactly. And it's really nice. Like Lamorne gives a whole story about why he did it, and he's just like, "Sorry, I couldn't listen to you, but I had to, pay my respects and kind of almost get his blessings." And that was really good. Dylan O'Brien,
still alive too.
Yeah, exactly.
The cast is
the Belushi, the Matt Wood, who played John Belushi, was really, really good. And something very geeky and nerd related, Matt Wood post pictures of Matt Wood next to Corey Michael Smith, who played Chevy Chase, have been circulating because Matt Wood is so short. He's 5'3", and people are saying he should play Wolverine because he looked exactly like Wolverine does in the comic books, like a character accurate Wolverine. So there's been like a little group of people on the internet celebrating the idea of Matt Wood as Wolverine that's been picking up steam. But yeah, the film is fun. It's great. The acting is solid. How
was Rachel?
Rachel
Sennett?
Yeah, she plays Rosie Schuster. I don't know, man.
Is it the role?
Rachel Sennett feels like she's too popular to have played the role they gave her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because there's this weird.
I think she's a great actress, though.
She's a fantastic actress, and I love her in almost everything. But it felt like, I just feel like they could have given this role to someone who needed a bigger break to really shine, as opposed to someone who's already so good. Like, weirdly enough, for example, the actress who played Gilda Radner, Ella Hunt, this British actress, she is okay, but doesn't look anything like Gilda, but does a really good job of kind of finding the spirit of Gilda from what I've seen, because I rewatch a lot of season 1 to like get in the mood for the film.
For this one, yeah.
Whereas Rosie Schuster, I don't really know who she was as a person, and Rachel, it kind of just felt like Rachel was getting to do whatever she wanted, and was
okay.
And then the dude who played Lorne Michaels, like her and him, the way they kind of played off of each other was weird, because in the story they're married, but they're separated, but they're cool with each other, and she's kind of dating Dan Aykroyd, but then there's someone else, the actress Lorraine Newman, who is the mother of Hannah from what's that show with Gene Smart? Hacks. The show Hacks.
Okay.
The lead
the comedy.
Yeah, the lead actress on that show is actually a Nepo baby that I didn't realize, but she's the daughter of Lorraine Newman, who was the first season SNL cast member. And there's like I guess I just didn't find the love triangle that was implied interesting.
Okay.
So maybe that's why I didn't vibe with Rachel's character as much. Rachel's best scene is when she's trying to get John Belushi to do the Bumblebee sketch. That like that was her like really tapping into like, come on, buddy, like just like really connecting with him was so beautiful, because you can see that the guy, like John Belushi as a character, almost, I guess, suffered from anxiety. I mean, for sure suffered from anxiety, and the movie kind of depicts that. And she does a really good job in that scene, but the rest of her scenes I didn't find that interesting.
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah, and Lorne Michael Kidd was cool. But I gotta say that a lot of other people kind of stole it, though.
I'm probably gonna go see it tomorrow.
I know I have to see that and Piece by Piece.
Yes. Well, okay. Ness, hit us.
Speaking of, did anyone else see it?
I didn't.
No, I want to see it. I really like the craziest thing that I've been seeing right now is like, oh, hey, look, here's a bunch of rappers on the red carpet for Piece by Piece, and they're talking like, you got like Noriega there. Nori is like, oh, what's your favorite Pharrell song? I don't care what anyone says. Super Thug, fuck everybody. Super Thug.
That's
just all these hardcore rappers swearing and cussing on the red carpet for Piece by Piece. Hey.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, I didn't know it was a documentary.
Oh, it is a documentary?
I posted the trailer in the chat and everything.
No, I know, but I thought that was like a segment. Like I thought it was like a scene in the movie, you know? I didn't know it was
depicted more as like a biopic made with Lego.
Which is what I thought. But it's an actual documentary.
Like the minifigs sit in front of camera. Oh no. You just lost me.
Doc, I was telling you that. I was saying like when they filmed it, they filmed everybody in the seat. So like Jay-Z is actually there filming it, his scene. They did not tell anybody that it was going to be a Lego movie.
That's the reason they didn't tell anybody, because it was filmed as a documentary. And then they used, I guess they used, however they filmed it as a documentary, they used that to transfer, I guess, to Lego.
Yeah, like the
like rotoscope. To rotoscope, basically.
I guess so, yeah.
Oh, but what they did?
Yeah. So at first when it started and I realized that it was a documentary, I immediately was like, oh no, I'm not gonna like this.
Yeah, same. I'm not interested now.
Yeah, because I was like, this is weird. Like I don't want to watch a Lego documentary about Pharrell Williams.
Yeah.
So then but as it continued, they actually, like, what they did with it, they made it pretty interesting, because it's not just them in front of the camera the whole time. It's like when they're talking, they show you like the story.
Oh, cool. Okay.
With Lego.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a kid and everything like that.
They did it in a way that made it interesting, so that you're not like, you know, why am I watching Legos talking in front of a camera?
Right. But yeah, because a talking head minifig film, it does not interest me in the slightest.
Which same. So but yeah, it was actually, Pharrell's story was actually good, and I think how they executed it with Lego was actually
okay, cool,
not bad. It wasn't, I'm not gonna say it's like it deserves an Oscar or anything.
I like the idea though, because I'll say this: sometimes when you're watching documentaries, most of it has to be remade with footage that like not found footage, but like their own footage of their experiences. But I'm guessing
like reenactments and stuff like that,
or reenactments. But I think what's really cool is because the whole film is done with Lego, the reenactments get to be fantastical retellings with minifigs.
So it's like imaginative.
Yeah, which does sound cool.
So they did a pretty good job, honestly, and it was still like a story with a lesson at the end. It wasn't just
cool.
like it wasn't just like, oh, this is my life, hope you guys enjoyed. Like it was like, this is my life, but I had to go through a lot and I changed a lot as a person, and now I am who I am today. Like that's kind of where he did throughout the story.
I have a question.
Yes.
And I apologize to the Neptune fans, but Pharrell and Chad Hugo, from what I understand, are not on the best terms right now, because Pharrell tried to register the Neptunes under his company, even though it's owned 50-50 with him and Chad.
Oh.
So supposedly they've had a falling out. Do they is Chad in the film?
Chad's in the film.
Yeah.
So so he must have done all that stuff after he. Yeah. No, they're still in the.
No, they're not on. They actually put out a press release saying that they're not on speaking terms anymore. It's really sad.
That's why. Yeah.
Oh, so they must have filmed this before that.
Yeah, that's why I imagine it must have taken them quite a bit of time if they were making a Lego version of the documentary. Right. So that's why I was wondering, like, if how much was Chad? Is Chad in the story a lot? Because I imagine there's a whole era. Like Chad was one of his.
They went to high school together. That's how they even met.
So he talks a lot about Chad, but Chad's scenes, there's not a lot of Chad scenes.
Okay, I'm wondering if they made any changes because of the situation.
I don't know, the vibe I also got was that Pharrell didn't mind being the spokesperson, or he was more inclined to talk and and Chad was more like, no, I want to be behind the scenes actually.
Which I think represents their personalities. Like from what I understand, Chad was more like reserved into himself, and like Pharrell was more like the face. But
this is gonna sound really mean, and I don't mean it to be disrespectful, but it must suck to be it must suck to work with someone who is open to being the face and probably more talented than you.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that 100%, because I remember hearing like Chad do a song on his own. I was like, God damn, this is actually really good.
Say, like,
I'm sure, but okay, I'll rephrase it. The person who likes to be the face and is equally as talented as you and way more successful.
Well, I
I
mean,
see what you mean.
I get what you mean, but like, I feel like Pharrell's more into like everything else. Like, oh, I want to do fashion. I'm going to be the head person for Louis Vuitton.
I'm only talking music though. When it comes to the success of who's produced what, only musically, if we look at what Chad's produced and what Pharrell's produced, I get that being a spokesperson led him to more interactions, and I agree. I will give credit where credit is due to what Jaws is saying. Him doing all the other stuff connects him with other people, but production wise, I still see Pharrell. Like, people say Pharrell influenced them. I don't hear people saying Chad influenced me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, to be honest with you guys, I didn't know that much of Pharrell's background history.
Okay,
like,
right.
Okay.
Like, I knew of
NERD and
Nerd.
Neptunes.
I only know Nerd, like NERD, but I didn't know Neptunes.
The Neptunes,
right?
Yeah,
and Star Trek.
Yeah, so it's more when watching this, I learned a lot about how he started.
Yeah.
But he does praise Chad a lot, and he does talk about how without Chad, like, he wouldn't have gotten into music.
Okay.
He says that.
Because I mean, like, from what
maybe
I
not
remember,
those words, but he does praise him, and he does say like if it wasn't for them starting the Neptunes, like, he would have never made it this far.
Yeah,
that's
because like I know they say, like, I know he's talked about, like, yeah, we used to be at like Chad's house and his dad would come down and blah blah blah, like
yeah, he does talk about.
Okay, cool.
He talks about that too in the movie. The only thing is, I feel like back then when they were the Neptunes, there was probably an issue with, Pharrell being the face and the and he also, like, he was cousins with Timbaland, and like he went to school with like Missy Elliott and like all these like big.
It's all Virginia.
Busta Rhymes, like they all went to high school together and they all started making music and stuff. So, and
That's
I feel like Chad was always, from what I understood, he was always like the quiet, like he was making music, but he was like the more quiet one, not really in the front. So people probably didn't know much about Chad. Like, I didn't know about Chad.
So, oh wow, really? Okay, yeah. I mean, Jaws and I, being 90s kids, like,
I knew the groups. Like, I knew he was in groups, but I didn't know.
Like, you didn't know who was in the group.
Yeah.
Because there's the other guy too in NERD. I always forget his name. Because it was
about,
the guy that's on the cover of their first album, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's Eclipse. Hold on. NERD was made up of Pharrell, Chad, and
a third guy, Shay.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds right. Yeah, because they're listed as a rock band.
Yeah, Shay Haley.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so there's a dude. Do you hear the name Shay Haley in the doc at all?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I would say that's a more smaller part because that's
NERD.
That's, to be honest with you guys, though, he didn't really go in depth about NERD.
Oh, interesting.
Like, he talked more about Neptunes.
Yeah.
Production. Okay.
Neptunes, and then him like moving from that. He doesn't really talk much about NERD. Like, he does, but it wasn't. It wasn't prominent from what I remember.
Right. No, that's cool. I mean, for like Ness, if you understood the stronghold that the Neptunes had on, like, when Grinding dropped.
Yeah,
Ness,
I didn't know all these songs. So I knew these songs, but I didn't know that it was Pharrell and
Chad. Yeah,
homie, when Grinding dropped, every fucking lunch table in every high school in North America became the drum grinding, and that's all you heard all the time. I remember being in high school and someone doing that, like the beat with their fist on the lunch table, and then the whole lunchroom at Wager, everyone started doing it, like the whole lunchroom, and I just remember thinking, like, oh, this is fucking crazy. Like, I didn't even know what was happening. Like, you don't have, I don't know if they have moments like that in high schools now, because I imagine they're all just looking on their phones playing Fortnite and TikTok. But I'm telling you, like, being a high school kid in the 90s, like that, I saw funny enough, I saw on social media this guy who does a rap about how much he misses the 90s, and the whole rap is him doing the drum beat, the same, like that generic drum beat with his fist on the table, on the lunch table, as he's rapping. And as he's doing that, I'm thinking to myself, it reminded me of the whole cafeteria at Wager doing that one day, and me being like, well, shit, that's wild. Like, that was that the best time? Like,
probably.
I think the better time was when I think they remixed it with they did they got dance hall people.
Oh yeah.
But then the part I liked more was when I think they performed that live. So you had Carnell Official, you had Sean Paul, and then Supercat came out. And everyone's
just
like,
keep holding me, don't let go,
provoking me.
They got us, Mr. Canadian, Mr. Canadian, they're grinding. What? We don't give up. Anyway, it's wild. So okay. I as much as
it's gonna be a nostalgic trip when you go see that movie.
Yeah. As much as I said at the beginning of this, I don't want to see a Lego documentary.
No, it's still it's worth it. I would say it's worth it.
That was you know what? Insane statement for me to make. As such a big Neptune
all
fan,
these movies that make you angry. You don't even want to see something that makes you happy. Look at you.
At this point, he only goes to the movie to get mad.
I don't like it.
Being called out,
grinding. I don't like it.
Being called out and knowing you're accurate is offensive. Okay, listen here, you people. Y'all don't have to read me this accurately in public, okay? You bastards. No, but it's facts. Honestly, the idea that I would see a Lego movie, a Lego animated documentary about a 90s, like originally 90s hip-hop producer, rock, because he produces everything. How am I saying I don't want to see that? That's fucking nuts for me to say. So
quick question.
It is.
Is Nardwuar in there?
Oh, interesting.
Is Nardwuar in the movie?
Like the interviewer?
Yeah.
Because he's done interviews with Pharrell.
He's done I think a lot of his interviews are showcased on his channel. I am something.
I don't remember seeing Nardwuar in it.
That would have been really cool if he got Nardwuar in there, because I know I think him, Snoop Dogg, and Questlove I think are the most consistent people he interviews. And cool. I think Nardo was the one that broke the story that he did Rump Shaker, or he helped on Rump Shaker, and Pharrell was like, how do you know?
Yo, okay, but speaking of people influenced by Pharrell, Tyler, the Creator, is coming to Montreal in July of 2025. He announced
new album dropped.
Yeah, he has a new album dropping on the 28th.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I'm letting people know now because I found out. And if you sign up now, say what?
When do the tickets go on sale?
To the 30th. Pre-sale's the 30th. You have to sign up for pre-sale now, which I did this morning. So go sign up for pre-sale now. If you have to go to his Chromomatic, the Chromomatic.
His album name.
Chromacopia. .com, and then click on tour, and then you have to go to your date and sign up for pre-sale. I'm telling you all this now because I was so excited. I'm not a big concert person. Ness and I got to go to Burna Boy, which was cool. I won those tickets. That was fun. I still to this day definitely regret not going to the Missy, Timbaland, and Sierra 100%. But Tyler coming through, Tyler the Creator is one of those people that, I was there for Odd Future, Wolfgang, Kill Them All, performing on The Late Show on Jimmy Fallon. I remember watching that and being like, what the fuck is happening? Who are these LA kids?
And what was it? And Mos Def / Yasin Bey was there just yelling swag into the camera like crazy.
Was that when they did their first performance?
I want to say yes, because I know there was a mess of people on that stage, and just
well, I know their crew alone is huge. Odd Future,
a mess of people.
So it was just crazy to see. And if you guys don't know who's in Odd Future, honestly, Odd Future was Tyler the Creator, Earl Sweatshirt, Sid the Kid from the internet, Frank Ocean, Domo Genesis, Mellow Hype, all of them. The crew is huge. Taco, who did Loiter Squad with all of them, who was on Dave with the Little Dicky show. And I honestly, I'm sure I'm forgetting some of the members, but they just had so much fun as a crew, and it was so much fun to watch. So to watch them all this many years later still continue to be such fun performers, I kind of really want to go see Tyler the Creator. So
I saw him live and he was amazing.
Yeah, I feel like every time I've watched one of the clips of his concerts, I've been like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's a really good performer. Like,
yeah,
really, really good.
So yeah, heads up for that. So the website is Chromacopia. I'll try and actually. Can I?
Super weird. Interesting,
yeah,
but weird.
The mask is weird. I've seen people talk about the fact that
it's very Tyler.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's cool. Yeah, it's coming out on the 28th. So yeah, guys, that's the whole show. I think we pretty much covered everything we wanted to talk about. And anything you guys want to tell the people? Anything you guys want to say?
You first.
Hit us, Ness.
Check out the what do you call it? Buzz Lightyear was brought to life. the Robo, what do you even call it? Like, did you guys see it? The toy that came out, Robosin?
No.
It's by Robosin.
Yeah.
It's a real life Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, so it's the people who make the Transformer one, Optimus.
Yeah. So they teamed up. They did a partnership with Disney, and they released recently a Buzz Lightyear that's a live Buzz Lightyear, and you can say commands to him, and he speaks to you. And
whoa,
it's
that's
really
so cool.
I think it's retail for like $600 US. So
yeah, they're pretty expensive.
But check it out. It's cool.
Does it have kung fu?
That I don't know.
If it doesn't, that's insane. Like I
would think so.
Yeah, it has to. There's no way they could do it without kung fu grip and all that stuff.
The more these guys make toys, the more closer we get to small soldiers.
Yeah. I'm gonna put the link in. Hopefully the link works if I put it in here. I'm gonna put it in the chat for people. I don't know if that will work. But this is the link to the Tyler thing. And I'll show that on the screen real quick for anyone who's looking for it. So that's the link.
For me, check out Transformer Slag and the Toy Armada podcast with Aaron Archer on YouTube.
And guys, that's the whole show. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition. We'll be back with another one. Don't forget to check us out, geekcypher.com. All our content is there, GeekCypha. We are out. Peace, y'all.
Peace.